Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, piloting to the universe of Chinese, and let's review what we talked about this week as evidence to show that majority of Chinese characters are phonosemitic compounds simply is an outdated theory. Actually, most of Chinese characters are explainable by the shape informed meaning. We start with die. By the way, everything in this week sounded exactly the same. Die. This die means saucer when it paired with the stone symbol. So simply it's a stoneware. Ancient times classify saucer could be made of porcelains or ceramics. They're all stoneware. Okay. And the right side simply means layers and generations of leaves on a tree, or the rings of the tree that grow successively layer after layer. And this layering, the stacking up imagery of this thing, repetitive stacking of from the plant phenomenon described to this shallow dishes, and that's saucer. And we can see here the stone plus this 30 made generation idea. And that generation simply gives you the sense of, okay, even if a 30 is expected a year for you to reproduce, but the point here is generation, meaning regeneration. So this generation produce the next generation. So this reproduction keeps reoccurring, relieving every year for the tree. All that packed into this image of ye. When it paired with shi, it is this shallow dish that can be easily stacked up. Thin, shallow, stackable dishes. And we can see the shi originally rendered was this top left corner. That means high ground with the stone shape. That gives you the sense of, the stones in the things in this shape often found in this tall ground. And that's logically stone. And flatten out of the tree symbol that's with a canopy looking like this, because the sun facing is upward growing kind of anti-gravity direction. Flatten for the ease of writing. Now, when ye paired with 虫, meaning a worm or a bug, it becomes butterfly, because butterfly is this thin, flat worm that display the traits of, they're probably not stackable, but they're definitely thin, because they are not like the real feather of birds. That's more muscular, right? The butterfly's wings are mostly flat. So with that thin layers from the ye paired with bug. This is an ancient variation of how butterfly was described, using the behavior of the speedy image paired with speedy worm. And that is butterfly, because compared with non-flying, grounded worms, there's a flyable worm with wings is the speedy worm. And that's a very nice behavior-based definition of butterfly. So you can see there, we already were reviewed that Chinese was not that simple. Over centuries, millennia, different thinkers came up with different concepts to describe how to describe a thing without a long definition, just by this 2D frame. Either by the shape of it, like this, die, that's flat and with worm, or by the behavior, right? Different ways to perceive something. Okay, this die, when it's thin, or layered, stacked, paired with the mouth symbol, it can mean two things. So mouth symbol by itself either mean eating or speaking, because human mouth serves two functions on one organ, right? Eating or speaking. So when it's speaking, the layers successive reoccurring talk is the chatter. That specific talks about how it's small talk. That's basically repetitive and you don't need to take it seriously, but it's kind of long-lasting. It's reoccurring with shallow messages. Versus another option of this 碟 is actually pronounced as 炸. Okay. Okay, I have to look at my notes because I don't use it in my everyday language. That 炸 talks about the behavior of eating. If you were successive recurring eating, so you were supposedly eating like a duck or water birds that feed repetitively to get enough nutrition. So it's a lot of hard work, right? Get a nutrition through water. So that repetitive, light, filtering, feeding behavior would be this 碟 to give you the sense of successive, reoccurring with the mouth symbol that points to the eating direction. So in this case, same look, same shape, diverge in their sound, so that we know this shape actually means the speaking side of things, 碟, or the eating side of things, 炸. All right. So here is a 例书, because this was a later created concept that was not available yet when Xu Shen was compiling this dictionary 2,000 years ago. Okay, so here only the flatten of the tree symbol, everything else pretty much preserved the ancient look. And here we swap out the mouth symbol with the word symbol. And Chinese express words with the mouth symbol. And then we have a tongue symbol on top of it. And two horizontal lines means the sound bites coming out of the tongue. So the speech making organs, mouth and the tongue, and the speech itself, the sound bites, were described here in this one frame. And this speaking function, in this case, can be verbal or nonverbal, written form that's carried on a thin layer of, I don't know, bamboo strip or whatever media that the message was carved, because the whole thing means spy. And to keep it secretive, you have to kind of condense your message and put it in a thin layer, so it's less likely to be discovered. And also, these layers stacked up, successive, give you the sense of it's not exactly recurring of the same message, but it's pieces of information that's fragmented, and it came in layers. And somebody else in charge of gathering such bits of information, and the analyst at a headquarters would piece all that together. So the whole chain would be spine work. The left side, you can see, swap out the whole thing, make it simplify. So that happened during the simplification process in the 1950s. Same pronunciation, 碟. Again, here we paired it with the foot symbol that you can see this is not original from Xu Shen's dictionary. So this was a later creation as well. That this generations of leaves on a tree paired with the motion of the foot. So kneecapped foot symbol is foot put in motion. Together describe a particular foot move or footwork that's repetitive, successive, and shallow. kind of like those thin leaves or stack of saucer plates. When the same imagery paired with footwork, then it becomes this lightly successive, quick steps. And this is, I mean, English will only have step, but I guess there would be more appropriate targeted step. But you can see Chinese would build the concept by using the same theme, this yi, plug it with all other categorical radicals to make this particular categorical radical, like this motion of food, more specific. What kind of step, right? So this is the whole descriptor of the kind of step. And we can see the foot symbol originally was a horizontal, actually the slanted this way. So in contemporary, for the convenience of writing, we have the bottom horizontal line kind of going this diagonal way. So the tip, the lift off of the brush can land on the top left corner here. So that's the visual connection there. All right, so when we swap out the foot symbol paired with a hand symbol, 5-finger hand symbol, the same stacked, layered, reoccurring, leafy, I guess, imagery paired with the hand symbol make the description of the hand motion. And in this case, it could be fold because you're stacking layers of fabric up. That's result of folding. Or this character can also mean a completely different thing, pronounced as a 蛇, not 叠 anymore, because 叠 is the folding, and 蛇 is kind of peeling away of, or breaking away layers and layers of yarrow, the ancient method of fortune telling, like the love me not flower petal picking. So ancient times, I guess, they use yarrow plant to break off each tiny little bit branches to tell you yes or no. And that's 蛇. So different pronunciation points to different hand motion, even if we are using the same descriptor this to specify what kind of hand motion that is. However, you can interpret it still in different ways. And so the result of that would be pair it with different pronunciation and, of course, with other characters to create a mutual context for you to better know what the exact meaning of this character. So just by the look of it, we cannot for sure tell what's the pronunciation or the meaning. A lot of it is still kind of ambiguous and context dependent. And that's the beauty of Chinese. It's not one way fits all. It's not straightforward. Language is more fluid in that way. But however, we can pronounce everything here as die, 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 die. It's all book according to the test correct. However, depends on the meaning. Like here is, I guess I cannot remember it. 炸, okay. The alternative meaning and the pronunciation would be 炸, meaning the water bird's way of feeding, repetitive, like a small chunk of leaking or filtering water through the bills. And that's 炸. Versus the last one here is 下. Oh, so this 炸 and the 下 kind of similar as well, but they're not 叠. It's another motion. It's not fold, but kind of a counting and a breaking away of the yarrow leaves. So this whole slew of 叠 can diverge, branch out in the meaning, but they all share the right side. That's 叶. And we pair them with different left side to create visual imagery as well as meaning from the imagery of different applications of this common theme, that is thin stacked generations of reoccurring leaves on that tree, and we apply that to a stack of plates. This thin, spread out wing of worm, or this nonstop shallow talk, that's chatter, or put the military intelligence on a thin media to carry out, to do the spy work, or pair with the food to mean repetitively shallow stepping on something, like a kind of pick your foot step lightly, or hand symbol to fold things, or breaking off, or counting things. So here we have from dear to dear, a whole stack of them. Thank you for your time. See you another week.